Hey y'all, I'm Krista and welcome to my channel, Real Talk and Redemption. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do that so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Sometimes what feels regular and ordinary to you can be life changing for someone else. Wes and I adopted our two youngest kiddos from the state's foster care system. And when you're going through that, there's this period of time, which we like to call it as the acclimation period, where the kids are usually in your home for 6 months prior to the final adoption process. Well, for us, we had a little bit longer period of acclimation just because we didn't want to uproot our kiddos from the foster homes that they were in because they were both in two separate foster homes, and it was just a couple of months into the new school year. We just didn't want any additional disruptions for them, wanted to try to give them the most stability and consistency as possible. So we would just get them on the weekends and Christmas, fall, winter, spring breaks, and all of the holidays that they would have where they would be out of school. So that's when we would have the kiddos prior to the 6 months of them moving actually in to do acclimation. Well, a couple of months after us just picking them up every weekend and spending time with them and us getting our new routines going every single weekend, one weekend I went to go pick up my youngest daughter, Vanessa, and Wes had gone to go pick up our son because that's usually how we did it, divide and one go pick up one pick up the other one because they were both lived on very opposite sides of town. But I picked up Vanessa from her foster family, was bringing her home, walked into the house, and I went to go put her things up in the room. And she had kind of like paused and was just standing there looking at our wall when you first walk into the house that had family photos on it. And she was just staring at it like she had never seen it before, which was odd. I just went on about my business, putting her stuff up. And when I came back, she was still standing there looking at the pictures, and she had like like tears in her eyes. She looked very upset. So I asked her what was wrong. She said nothing and went about going into her room, putting the rest of her things away. And then she stayed in her room for a minute. So I went back there, checked on her, like, hey, what's going on? You okay? Yeah, but I could tell something was wrong with her. I knew something was off. And often when you're adopting kids from that are in the foster care system, a lot of times they don't like to tell you what's going on or what their true feelings are because they're so afraid of upsetting you or doing anything or saying anything that may change you wanting to adopt them. That wasn't the case with us, but we had sensed that Vanessa sometimes wasn't always completely honest because she was so afraid of losing what was going to be her next or her new family. Well, later on, she comes into the living room and I see her glancing at the wall again with the family photos. And I'm like, what's up? What's up? Something is up. Tell me what's going on. And then she just, in this sweetest little voice, she says to me, and I mean, tears are literally in her eyes. And she says, I've never had my picture on the wall before. I've never been on a family wall of pictures. It's like I have my own family now. I'm part of a real family. Y'all, let me tell you, that choked me up to my core. I had tears welling up in my eyes. I literally was shaking to a certain extent. And then, of course, I'm hugging her, I'm reassuring her, telling her, of course, you have a family. Of course, this is your real family. You are part of a family. And I'm just so happy that you see yourself on the wall and that you see that you are part of a huge family. And we all love you. And we're so excited that God chose you to be a part of our family. And that kind of like reassured her. She was happy go lucky, went back into the room playing with her sister and having a good time. Of course, I didn't went to the room, told Wes about it. I'm bawling. He's got tears in his eyes. Next thing you know, we are loading pictures up that are on our phone up to Walgreens, getting them printed out. I'm making sure there's photos in our photo albums of the kids so that they can see mixed in with all of our other family photos that we've already had over the years, making sure they're all mixed in. I'm telling my parents and my grandparents all about this moment. So then that way, next thing you know, whenever we were going to my grandparents' house or my parents or even some of my auntie's house, there's pictures of our kiddos on the walls or on their shelves or in their photo albums so that they can see reflections of themselves and see that they are part of a family. This is a reminder to everyone to slow down and remember that a moment that seems small to you can be the most impactful and big moment for someone else, especially if they've never felt chosen. So, if you have an opportunity to smile at someone, put a picture of them in a photo album or a picture frame, invite them to dinner, and include them in a group chat, or just include them in a conversation, go ahead and do that because you never know. It may just be that small moment that they need to feel like they belong. And if anything spoke to you in this video today, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.